Hi, Traumedians. I just wanted to let you know that this episode does contain mention of domestic violence and substance abuse, which may be triggering for some of our listeners. We will have resources linked in our bio. Also wanted to let you know that the first 30 seconds of this episode, we struggle a little bit with our audio. Bear with us. It gets better pretty quickly.
You want to talk about it?
I'd rather laugh about it.
Let's get a little dark about it on the Traumedy Show. Welcome to the Traumedy Show. I'm your co-host, Rachel Wilford.
And I'm your other co-host, Megan Wilford.
And today we have Chanele Davidson with us. She is a local comedian. I think you're in HR too, right?
Yes, I'm in HR.
Ooh, we love a comedian in HR.
They go so well together.
Oh, I didn't realize you were in HR.
Yep.
Oh, fun.
People and culture. We've rebranded to people and culture.
Oh, okay. Yes.
PNC, and I'm sure you're very PC in your
very
your
PC
stand-up comedy.
Yep. Exactly.
Good one.
Thank you so much.
We know Chanele from our friend Emma, and you two work together, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
I hired Emma. She's one of the people I love that I hired there.
We love Emma.
Yes. I love all my marketing team at where I work. So it's super fun. It's not too serious over there.
Yeah.
And then in your free time, you said like 4 to 6 stand-up comedy shows per week?
Well, I go on stage like 4 to 6 times per week. So not always shows, open mics.
Yeah.
Those are super fun as well. So yeah, usually I'm getting up like 4 to 6 times per week. Sometimes I do like a couple spots a night. So just going out and getting reps in, as they say. So it's super
awesome.
fun and also super not fun at the same time.
Is it the same set like most of the time, or do you try out new things? Like, how do you stand up like 4 or 6 times a week?
So you like ultimately, I guess the goal is to like build up time, right?
Yeah.
So like when you're like a famous comedian, a lot of the times like during the week, you'll go do like 15-minute segments, and then you put those 15 minutes together and build like a 45 to like an hour minute set. When you are at my level, you're usually doing like 3 to 8 minutes at a time. So your goal is to kind of get to like a really good 15 minutes and then start like featuring for someone and then kind of build up from there.
Okay.
So I'm doing like 3 minutes. Now I'm usually doing like, if I'm doing a show, they'll let me do 15 minutes, but anywhere from like 10 to 15 minute sets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want you to do an open mic so bad, Rach.
It would be fun.
I'm listening to this.
I would want you to be my like mentor.
Oh yeah. I mean, I like the writing portion of it more. So now like crowd work's really popular.
Yeah.
So I've learned like kind of like how you get good at it is like you do crowd work and then you like bring your bits in. So it seems like really natural, you know?
Yeah.
But you have to have like something kind of to say. So if I'm at a mic and I'm just trying stuff out, I'll have like a list of things and I'll touch on it. But I hate like reading it off the paper. I like to like,
totally.
I'll be like, oh, did I touch everything I want to say?
Yeah.
And then like I record myself and then you like go home and write it out.
How did your very first open mic go?
Well, I took a class a long time ago when I was like 23. I used to work in production and I talk a lot, if you guys can't tell. And this guy named Ben, who I've been friends with for a long time, his girlfriend at the time was doing stand-up comedy. And I was so young and like such a Valley girl. Like I feel like I'm such an Orange County Valley girl. He was like, you need to go do stand-up comedy. He was like, so go take this woman's class. And I did. And I was so scared to actually go do an open mic at first, like writing. And then when I finally did it, I did all right, I guess. I feel like I'm not horrible at it.
Yeah.
It's definitely something like you need to get better at with time. Like for me, I think I'm better at the writing part. And then it's like the going up and seeming like natural.
The delivery.
And I think like being a woman too, like it's hard as well because people don't always want to like me when I come on stage. And I don't like to dress like a bum. I like to dress cute and stuff like that. So sometimes I feel like I have to work harder to like win the audience over.
Totally.
Than if I'm in sweats, like I tend to do so much better than if I'm like dressed up.
Yeah.
Oh,
People
interesting.
don't want to admit that hot girls are funny.
They don't like it.
No, they don't like it.
No.
Like I feel like we're way more likely to like a chubby man. We're like, yeah, that's a funny guy. But then like a hot girl comes on, anything, like that's just the general sexist opinion that like, they can't be funny and hot.
We can't have it all.
Yeah, and I think like and I think like comics that are like attractive, like Hannah Berner, like certain people, like they have built like a personality, and then people like know who they are and they want to go see them. But I think like at first, like if they don't know who you are and you're a woman on stage, you have to work harder to like win them over. Because usually it's like men that go see stand up, or it's like women and like that are there with their boyfriend. You know?
Good point.
Yeah.
We need to get more girlies out to stand up.
Yeah. Or be more supportive of women when they're on stage doing stand up. Because I gotta tell you, it's always the women that I feel like, but once I do win them over afterwards, like they are always like the ones that come up to me and are like so much more excited than the men are, obviously.
Interesting.
Because I consider myself a girl's girl. Like I'm not there for the boys. Like I like to be like there for the girls, you know?
I love going to the Irvine Improv.
Yeah.
And it's always like so male dominated, I feel like most of the time.
Yeah.
But whenever a woman does come on, I'm like extra loud. I'm so excited she's doing it. Yeah. I'm like freaking out at everything she's saying regardless.
Yeah. But I think it's like so true though. So I always try to say that.
Yeah.
Be nice, girlies.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
Well, you are also here because you have a interesting traumatic story to share.
Yeah.
You're perfect for the Traumedy Show because you have the trauma to talk about in a funny way.
I have so much trauma. That's like, I think how most comedians start 100%. Out is from trauma, you know? Trauma or a comedy is just a tragedy in time, I always say. I got married and divorced the same year. Very expensive. Would not recommend.
How long ago was this?
This was in 2021.
Okay.
So it's been
like
a
fresh pandemic.
Yes. Yeah. So there were a lot of things like leading up to it. And even like there at the wedding, like there was like so many red flags, like trying to signal me, I think like, are you sure you want to do this? But, yeah. So like, I mean, I was with my ex for like 7 years.
Okay. Oh,
wow.
So we were together for a really long time.
How did you meet him?
I met him on Tinder.
Okay.
Very good way to meet people, obviously. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, that should have been like the first sign right there. But met him on Tinder. He was really, at the time I was doing comedy. So I stopped doing comedy for like 10 years. And he was really into like YouTube videos, like skits and stuff like that. And he was always trying to like, you know, when you match with someone online, but you don't meet with them for a while, but like you exchange socials and stuff like that. We did that for like 2 years. And I actually had just broken up with someone. And then he sent me flowers to my work. Like the first time we met.
Wait, you did that? Sorry, you did what for 2 years?
Like, you know, when you like
chatted
online, but like never met. Because then I got back like with an ex.
They like matched on Tinder and they like exchanged Instagram or whatever. And then just kind of stayed.
Yeah, we never met really.
Oh, okay.
And then I was working at the Mac counter because I worked there forever. And someone sent me flowers to my work, and ironically, everyone thought it was my ex-boyfriend, but then it turned out to be my future ex-husband, my future I elevated.
Okay.
But they were like, it was just very toxic from, I would say, the beginning of our relationship. But I was 25 and he was 28, and it was just like very exciting, but very toxic, like right away. So it didn't go very well.
Toxic how? Like, was he lying?
He was, he had a drinking problem for sure. I mean, we all can have drinking problems, but I mean, like who doesn't? And I feel like too, like now that I'm like older and like out of it, like I definitely wasn't like the best partner for him either. I think like, being out of it, like I think part of the reason like we stayed together for so long, because obviously you can love someone and them not be like the right person for you, is like we had similar like childhood traumas and things like that, where we were really able to like almost like bring out the worst of each other at times. And I think that went into us like binge drinking together, like, you know, using drugs together. And it was like exciting at first because like when you're like 25, you don't really have that many responsibilities, or at least I wasn't like a super responsible adult at the time. And we were just having like a really good time. But then like, you know, we got kicked out of 2 apartments because of him.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like there was a time like my dad had to like move us out, and like he's from Long Island. Like he went back to New York, and I should have like never like gotten back with him, like given him so many chances. But unfortunately, I did.
Yeah, it works out that way sometimes.
Yeah.
So wait, how did you start? Because you were kind of pen pals for 2 years, and then he sent you the flowers. Like, how did you actually start like dating in person?
So then I was like at work when the girls was like, you need to go meet him. And then I met him that night, and it was like, as soon as we met, like we were like inseparable. Like it was a very like rocky relationship. But it was like we were never really broken up, you know? It wasn't like we ever dated other people. He would get sober, I think, too. Like we were together for 7 years, right?
Okay.
So what would happen is it was like this vicious cycle of he would go away. Like one time he had to go to Kentucky to be with his dad. He'd swear like he's going to come back. He's going to make everything better. He'd come back. Everything would be better for a period of time. And sometimes it was like a long period of time. There was a time where he was sober for like 2 years, you know?
Wow.
And then it would be like he would start drinking again, and it would be like it would just get worse like every time he fell off the wagon.
Yeah.
You know, and I like to drink and have fun. So I was like, I wasn't like drinking at the house, or I wouldn't have alcohol at the house. But like every time I would like come home from like a brunch with my girlfriends or something, he'd be like trying to pick a fight with me. Like he had very like,
He was upset that you were drinking.
that I was drinking, and like it was just, and my mom was an alcoholic, so it's very important to me to not be like completely sober. I don't know why. It's just one of those things in life where I'm like, I want to be able to drink responsibly, as they say.
Yeah.
So I always told him like, I don't plan to stop drinking, you know?
Yeah.
But then it was just very like narcissistic behavior of like then trying to keep me away from my friends and my family. So even when he was like sober, obviously, he would try to keep me away from them. Like me and my sister didn't talk for a long period of time. And I think like when you're younger and like I wasn't like where I was in my career now and like things like that, I was just like more easily like manipulated by him. You know?
Were you like financially dependent on him in any way?
So at the time, like I couldn't afford to like live by myself.
Yeah.
And I think that's too like why part of the reason it was hard for me to leave him. So when things got really, really bad, it was during COVID. So we got engaged, and he was sober at the time, I believe. We got engaged in right the beginning of January in 2020.
Oh,
right?
no.
Good time to get engaged. We were going to have a
Yeah.
destination wedding, right?
Oh my God.
And at the time, my stepmom, who was like my mom, was also dying of cancer. So like during COVID, he fell off the wagon. It got really bad. I got furloughed from my job, right? So I didn't have a job. My stepmom was like on hospice, like dying at home. So I really felt like I couldn't like put that. My dad raised me and my sister by himself. So I really felt like it would have been like very selfish of me to like go to my dad and like say I have these problems. So I just like tried to write it out. And then there was an instance in COVID where it got so bad. Like there was like a police report filed where, you know, he, pretty much like attacked me, and I had to like run out into the street like naked, and like the neighbors called and the cops came.
And this is when he was super drunk.
Oh, he was like super drunk. Because the problem is, ladies, is he would drink a lot, but then he also liked to use a substance called cocaine. And
I've heard of it.
Yes. And the problem with drinking and doing cocaine is then you don't pass out, right? So I would wake up and I would go to sleep, and he would have like gone out and gotten cocaine by himself. And I'm just like, dude, go to bed. Like you're 33 years old. Like go to bed. Like it's like, to me, it's like not fun to be on like a 3-day bender, like not going to sleep, you know?
Yeah. Especially when you're 33, my God.
Yeah. And I'm just like, go to bed, or like he wasn't doing stuff. So then he would be like in a blackout, obviously, because he's so drunk because he's done cocaine and drinking now too. That he would just like lose it. And it was like, I could tell like when I looked at him, like that, like the lights are on, but like no one's home. Like, have you ever like drinking with someone and it's like a light switch and you're like, you see it and you're like, oh fuck, here we go. So that's what I was like kind of experiencing, and I loved him. But as time went on, I started to realize, or like now that I'm out of it, I don't think I realized it until after I left. Like I was in love with him in a way like you would be in love with a child. Like if I loved him because I was worried about him, and I was scared of if I left him, what would happen to him. But I wasn't like in love with him anymore.
It was very codependent.
It was very codependent. And then like when we did end up getting married, like after that, when the cops came and everything, he got sober for a while, like another like year, I would say. And then
and when he was sober, were things a lot better between you guys?
Things were better. Yeah. He would still get like very angry. Like if I went out and I went drinking, and granted, like at this time, like we're saving for a wedding, right? So I have like my full-time job, and then I freelance doing hair and makeup. So I also think like I am a workaholic. So I think like I was working even more to avoid being home. You know what I mean? So I was able to kind of really keep myself busy and kind of avoid like the truth, if that makes sense. And I think I was, 33 when we got married. I wasn't like a spring chicken at the time. Like I was very like, do I want to have kids? Like, do I want to start over my life? Like, is anyone going to want to be with me, and I think that was like a lot of the pressure too.
Sure.
And
how long were you engaged?
So we got engaged in January of 2020.
Yeah.
And then we got married in December of 2021.
Okay. So the pandemic hits and then you're like
we were in chaos.
We were in chaos. And then he got sober for about like a year, I would say. And then he fell off the wagon like right before his bachelor party.
Oof.
Which is ideal, right?
Yeah.
So then, And then, and then we decided to have a destination wedding at an all-inclusive resort, which is not where you want to bring an alcoholic for a wedding.
With all the alcohol in the room, you can just have as much as you want.
Yeah. So in my defense, I set him up for fail on that one. So not really what you want to be doing, but we did legally get married before we went to Mexico. So if I could give anyone any advice, I would suggest if you're going to have a destination wedding, maybe do that, then get married after. Because it would have saved me a lot of headache.
Yeah.
My dad always likes to bring up that I'm the idiot that married him twice. Very comforting of him. So we got married before we went to Mexico, like about a month. And even like when we got married that day, like a diamond was missing from my ring that day. And it was like, I was like, am I going to get married with like my diamond ring like broken? So we got that.
Like an omen.
It was like an omen.
Were you feeling at this time like unsure, but you're like, I have to go through with it?
I think like I was so enthralled in the planning of the wedding, right? And in my head, like I was just
good way
like,
to distract you.
Yeah. And I also was like, oh, you're just like not happy because you're so stressed and you're working so much. And like everyone feels uncertain when they get married. Like these are normal things.
Yeah.
Like I mean, we didn't have sex for like months leading up to our wedding.
Really?
That should have been a sign. Yeah. Like I wasn't attracted to him when he was drinking because he was like so like he would get so belligerent, and he was like unmanageable, you know what I mean? And you don't want like some big like drunk guy, you know.
It's funny how your body sometimes knows like before your brain catches up, like you were already so shut down to him physically.
And I knew like now that I'm out of it, like I look back and I'm like, obviously I was checked out a long time before we got to Mexico. But then when we got to Mexico, it was just like a fucking movie. Like he got his teeth fixed, like, cause he had a chip in his tooth. I was like his mom. So I was like doing everything.
Been there. Yeah.
And it's like, it's
scheduling their appointments.
I'm like, you need to get your tooth fixed. Like you're not gonna get married with a chipped tooth.
Yeah.
Well, this poor boy, he goes and he looks like Dumb and Dumber when he comes back with these fake teeth. And so I upgraded our flights to like first class, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. And like, so the night before the wedding, before we leave for Mexico, right? I'm like, okay, I'm making all the gift bags for people. I like have his list of things to do because we're on like a red eye Saturday night, right? I'm like, tomorrow I need you to go pick up my dress. I need you to go get pictures printed of his mom that passed away and my mom that passed away to like put in a picture frame, right? Like I'm gonna go get my nails done with like my friends and all this stuff. So cut to, I wake up in the morning and he had drinking like 8 bottles of wine. Okay. So for my bridal shower, my friend had gotten me.
That's like alcohol poisoning.
Oh my God. So my friend had gotten me like a bunch of wines that are labeled like first big purchase, baby being born, first Christmas.
He drank all of them?
He drank. I was like, oh, we did a lot of celebrating last night when I came downstairs. Like he had drinking like 3 of those bottles of wine, like so many of them. I could see that he had done cocaine, right?
Was he already like off the wagon at this point?
Yeah,
like he was
already off the wagon.
Okay.
So then I'm like furious, and we get into a physical altercation.
Oh my God.
Now, granted, like if someone pushes me, I'm going to push them back. Okay.
Yeah.
And once again, I think it's like it was very toxic, where I should have probably just left him and like gone about my day and not confronted him. But that's not the way I like to do things. So we get into like a physical altercation. It's pretty bad. I leave at this point, and I go just like drive around. I come back and he's sleeping at this point, and I'm like, okay. And at this point, like I had just gotten my eyelashes done. Like my eyelashes are fucked up.
No.
My girlfriends, like all my girlfriends didn't like him very much.
Yeah, that was another one of my questions of like during this like leading up to going to the wedding, what is the vibe amongst your family and friends? And
so, I mean, I didn't talk to my dad for a period of time. I didn't talk to my sister. And I think too, like if you're in a toxic relationship, and I have a lot of friends that I've been friends with for long periods of time, right? Not like, you know, a couple months, like 15, 20 years. And they all didn't like him. And I think like if all your friends and family do not like someone, and there is a reason as to why.
Yeah.
But I know that he had separated me from them before. So I think the feeling from people after now was, if we don't support her, we're not going to be there for her, or she's not going to have a relationship with us.
Yeah.
So they all had kind of, you know, come to terms, and I would lie to them constantly about things, or like there had been multiple times where I had to go like get a hotel like across the street because I didn't want to stay at the house.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like
But you'd rather go to a hotel than like tell a friend what was actually happening, and then
instead of because in my head, like I loved him and he was going to get better, and it was going to be okay,
right?
And you know, yada yada yada. And I think people can get better. Like I know now he is better. And I think it's just like me leaving him had to be the catalyst for like him to get his life together, I think. But yeah, so like that morning, like we're fighting, I leave. I mean, I had like eventually like bruises and stuff would form on my arm and my neck and things like that.
Because he was grabbing
He was grabbing me and stuff like that. But then like cut to, we're going to Mexico that night, right? So I upgraded us to first class, right? Because I'm like, we're going to drink on the airplane, right? Because I want to have a good time. I'm a good time, okay?
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, this is like, I've been working my ass off to pay for this wedding because we paid for it ourselves, mainly me, by freelancing every weekend, like doing 2-3 weddings a weekend.
Why is it always like when we're stuck in these relationships sometimes with men and like feel like we are their mothers and taking care of it, we're also like financially supporting them,
right?
Like,
and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was like I was the team leader, like I was in charge of everything, like I was in charge of the finances, the this or the that. And then I think like I didn't realize like how resentful I was getting towards him too,
right?
Until like, I'm sure you know, like until sometimes you're out of things and you like get like the goggles off, you're kind of like, it's not making sense. Like you don't see it until like you separate yourself from it. Like now it's so clear. I'm like, how could you have been such an idiot? But when you're in it, it doesn't seem that way, you know? But
you were clearly like trauma bonded with this person.
Yeah. And I'll always love him. Like I have no ill will towards him now.
Yeah.
Like I think like I'm a big believer of like everything happens for a reason. And this is like part of my story in life, and it made me like who I am. So it's just one of those things that I mean, I wish I wouldn't have spent all that money on a wedding.
Yeah.
And then
but nice to have that back.
That, you know, the photographer fees weren't worth it because I never got the photos.
Oh my God.
But you know, it was
photographers are expensive.
Oh my
weddings.
God. And I wanted a good one because I don't half-ass things. But then when we got to the airport, like then all the red flags really started to like show. So my Jim Carrey, he chipped his new tooth at the bar, drinking ice before we even get on the flight.
His new tooth?
His new tooth. It's just dinged like, and he's like at the bar and I was like, did you drink without a straw? The guy told you not to drink without a straw. And he's like, I think I chipped my tooth. And I was like, smile. And sure it was like... And then like we get on the flight and he's so exhausted because he'd stayed up all night celebrating all of our big events without me, you know, and he drank all the alcohol and was doing all the cocaine by himself. He didn't go get the pictures printed for our wedding.
No.
Yes. He barely made it to pick up my dress on time.
Oh my God.
I had to like go find some like new eyelash person to fix my eyelashes because it was just like awful.
Oh, God.
And then we're like on the plane to Mexico. Like I remember when we got to Mexico, they had like a limo for us and then like everyone else. And I didn't want to go in the limo with him. Like I was like, no, I want to go on the party bus with all of my friends. I don't want to go in this freaking limo with this guy.
Yeah, that's probably a sign if you don't want to ride in a limo with your fiance on your wedding
you
day.
know? So it was just like, it was just so bad. And so then I'm riding in the limo with him and he's like, is there any alcohol in here?
Oh, God.
And then it's just like, here we go. And then I remember we got to the hotel and I remember I bought like all new outfits. And I remember thinking like, once I get there, I'm going to feel great, right?
Yeah.
It's all going to come together and I'm going to feel amazing. And everything, like every second guess I have is going to go out the window.
Yeah.
But then I got there and I didn't feel that way. Like I remember like I had like 8 suitcases of things, right? I had like gift bags for everyone.
Yeah.
I makeshifted all this stuff, right? I was going to be in Mexico for 2 weeks because we were there for a week.
Whoa.
And then we were going to go do our honeymoon for a week. And I remember like hanging everything up and then just like looking at him like, oh, I don't really like you still. Like, oh, like
I'm gonna like my husband once we get to Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
no.
him just being like a drunk slob kebab and being like, oh my God, like you're just
with half a tooth.
with half a tooth. He had gained, like I had worked really hard to like be in really good shape and he had gotten fat. Like he had the body of Donald Duck. Like, you know, when a guy just has like a belly and he's just like running around, like his bathing suit's like untied. And I'm just like, oh my God, like get away from me, you know?
Oh no.
Then
You're already married at this point too,
we're already
right?
legally married at this
Okay.
point,
Oh,
right?
God.
So
I can see why then you're like, well, I still want this wedding. But
yeah, I mean, like, and in my head, like, I'm like literally when we're there, like, I'm not hanging out with him. I'm hanging out with my friends. Like, I'm trying to avoid him because I'm just so annoyed with him. What else? Oh, he starts to buy cocaine off the parasailing instructor. So then that's fun. I brought metal straws for everyone for the wedding, and I like cut him and like everyone doing cocaine. I mean, I dabbled too eventually, but with like the huge like metal straws that everyone had, and I was just like, oh my God. But then at that point, it was like I know he wasn't going to sleep.
Yeah.
And this was like the first night I like got drunk, got mad, and fell asleep in my friend's room. He didn't even notice I was gone. And then it was just like my friend got arrested in Mexico.
What? Why?
They all
How?
went out. My friend's husband from Norway was there. He got drunk. They were at like Club Coco Bongo or something. And
where in Mexico were you?
we're in Cancun.
Okay, actually, I don't think I've been to Cancun.
Oh, it's so fun. I would like to go back and redo my wedding without my wedding.
Oh my God.
And
So you had a friend who got arrested for just being like belligerent?
Oh, he was like, he got jumped. They took all of his clothes.
Holy shit.
And then the cops found him naked. And then we're like, you're naked. He's like, well, they took all my clothes, like obviously. So then they took him to jail, but they were like, oh, we just figured he'd show back up. They weren't there when he got arrested. They didn't know he got arrested. So they went to like a strip club, came back to the hotel. Then we had to finally figure out where Bjorna was. Bjorna was in jail. Like my friend's freaking out. The Norwegian.
Okay, the Norwegian.
Yeah, I
Bjorna.
remember like that morning, like, yeah, she's like, I don't know where Bjorna is. She comes to my room. And so we're calling the front desk. And they're like, well, if he doesn't come back in 24 hours, then, and I was like, she's like, what's, and I was like, stop doing that, please. She's like, he's dead, blah, blah, blah. And like, meanwhile, like people are coming, like there was this guy coming from France, like we're in the lobby and they're like, Chanele, like, how are you? We're so excited for your wedding.
Yeah.
And there's a French guy and she's like, are you from France? He's like, yes, I am from France. She's like, my boyfriend, he loves France. He might be dead now, but we don't know where he is. I'm like, okay, like we have to, Heather, like I'll catch up with you guys later.
Oh my gosh. Wait, were the French people there for your wedding?
Yeah, my friend,
Wow.
yeah. So he's from France.
Yeah, okay.
He doesn't live in France.
So you had
But
a Norwegian.
Yeah.
People from.
it was good.
I can see also why you wouldn't want to, like, that's a lot of people flying internationally for your wedding.
There
and
was
like the
100
pressure
people
of
there.
canceling or what, like, 100 people is insane. That's a lot of people for a destination wedding.
And it was like a week, you know, he's from New York. So there were people coming from the East Coast. So we picked a destination because we figured everyone's going to either have to fly here or there. And then that way it's just like we went to a destination wedding, which was also a disaster. I should have known then that that's probably not the route we should have gone. But, you know, I just don't like to learn. I just don't like to learn. I'm hard-headed. But then eventually we found Bjorna, and we sent my friend who did end up marrying a cop. We sent him, who's a sheriff, to go bail him out. My friend was like, it's $50,000. And it was like, no, it's 50,000 pesos, Heather. She's like, I'm going to need to borrow some money. I was like, I'm pretty sure those are pesos that they're referring to. She was like freaking out. So we got the jailbird out. He came out. Meanwhile, like the bender's still going on, right? He's still on a bender. I'm still like greeting everyone.
Your
there.
ex is still on a bender? Just
yeah, he didn't
not
sleep.
Oh my
like
God.
the whole time we were there.
Is this only like the first day?
This is like day 2 now. So this is day 2. Mm-hmm. So this is like Monday. And I'm just like avoiding him. Like, I mean, there's so many people there. I was like just doing my own thing really much, which also should have been like, I had so many cute outfits. I was just so excited to wear all my outfits and like drink with all my friends and people I hadn't seen. Like all of my favorite people were going to be at this place.
Right.
Which I think like also was like part of the reason that like gave me the strength to leave. Like, I think like if I hadn't had a destination wedding, so like we're there and then like the bruises start to like show up on my arm and stuff. So I'm like, I had like an airbrush machine. I'm like trying to cover them up. And then like the night before our wedding, we have a rehearsal dinner thing. He gets like absolutely shit faced. I remember like screaming at him like, you need to go to sleep. Like, I'm not going to marry you drunk tomorrow. But then the next day, like he's like sunburnt at this point. He has a chipped tooth. You know, he hasn't slept in like how many days?
Yeah.
Right?
Degenerate groom.
Degenerate groom. Like he's vaping as I come down the aisle.
Shut the fuck
Like,
up.
I swear to God, my friend had to tell him to like put the vape away.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Like
God.
it was just, I got like this runner too that looked like not like anything in the Pinterest pictures. It looked like it was supposed to be glass, but it literally was like aluminum foil that they had like rolled out. So everyone's like slipping and sliding. My dad like almost falls.
Yeah.
He doesn't write vows. He forgets to write vows. He describes me as like a pregnant Jessica Simpson and drunk Mariah Carey, who he thought was like his favorite people, who he finds them attractive. In one of his speeches, that's like how he described me as his dream woman. I was like, on the Richter scale of where I fall in terms of pregnant Jessica Simpson or drunk Mariah Carey, I don't think that's where I want to be.
It's the most romantic thing I've ever heard.
You know?
When did the intervention happen? So the wedding
happened.
Okay.
He missed the entrance because he was busy doing cocaine.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So he's high on coke as you guys are getting married. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Vaping.
And vaping. Well, I guess the night before after I had like argued with with him and my friends had put me down, they said they were all like congregating, like, should we have her cancel the wedding? Like, clearly they had like seen the bruises on my arms and stuff. And they had a feeling that he had still been physical towards me, but obviously I had always lied about it and said like, oh, he never does that anymore. He doesn't do that again. And so they were like debating, but they knew like I'd already paid for the wedding. Like I'd already legally married him.
Yeah.
So they knew like I wanted to have that moment really with my dad because my dad raised me. And so then I had the wedding. But then after the wedding, like it was like he missed the wedding entrance because he was busy doing cocaine. He gave the guy the wrong song. It was like the Tarzan song. It was just like everything was just
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins was like
Like
playing.
when you walk down the aisle, it was Phil
No,
Collins?
like when you're dancing like at the beach.
Oh, your
and
first
stuff.
dance?
Yeah.
I want to know if you show me.
Yeah, that was it.
That it? Oh my God.
Strange.
And it was
Your
just
first dance.
it was just like so bad.
Oh my God.
And so then like the next day my friends like could tell I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And they really didn't want me to go on my honeymoon with him for a week. Like they were really scared to leave me in Mexico with this man,
really
another man for a week. So like I had like 8 bridesmaids. So like all my bridesmaids, all their husbands were there, and they all pretty much like sat me down and were like, look, like we know he's hit you. Like this isn't love. Like we love you. We know that like you love this person. And then this went on for like 2 hours where I'm just
Where was he?
He was out and about just living his life with the parasailing instructor. Doesn't know where I am. And so then finally like my friends made the decision like, we're going to get her dad involved, you know, like if once we bring Carthel into this, like there's going to be no going back. Like Carthel's going to be like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So then they got my dad. And
had your dad not realized at that point that you like had the bruises?
I mean, I had been covering them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I mean, like I was saying, like I was having a good time with my friends. So, you know, like the parentals would kind of go away, and then it would be kind of like you with your friends at the end of the night. Like we had a private pool and stuff. And so then like the makeup would kind of come off, and then like when I was getting my hair done, they could see like my neck and stuff, because I do hair and makeup, so it was like my friends doing my hair and makeup, so I could only hide so much from them. And then at this point I was kind of like, fuck you, like you're so worried about what people think, like you don't even care about me, you're off running around doing whatever it is that you're doing. And I think like he did love me. I'm sure he still does, but he obviously was fighting very strongly with addiction at that time. So he wasn't thinking very clearly. But then they got my dad, and my dad's like, that's it, we're leaving Mexico. They changed my flight till that morning. This is like 3-4 in the morning, I think, at this time. They're hiding me in someone else's room. And like you would think that he'd be like, where the fuck is half of the wedding party at, right?
Yeah.
So they're like doing shifts, like they're sending people out to like distract him and then come back.
This is a full-on operation.
This is a full-on operation. I have like 8 suitcases. They have to break into my room. They pack up all my stuff.
Yeah.
You
had so many cute outfits.
I had so many cute outfits. They had to get my passport out of the safe. I had to go get a COVID test at the resort before I could even get on a flight. And so then I get on the flight, right? And I remember being at the airport, like thinking like, he's going to come running through the airport, and it's going to be like Paul Rudd, like in a romantic comedy, and he's going to come get me and save me, and it's going to be amazing. And then it was just like, we are boarding class B now. If you're in class B, like please get on the plane. And I'm like, I guess we're doing this. I guess I went home.
Were you hoping for him to show up?
I mean, like I think now I'm like glad I ended it, you know? And I think like I had to be like surrounded by all my friends and family to like help me leave, and like really like I had to have like that conversation. And I think I didn't realize I wasn't like in love with him anymore at that time until I left. And I started to like really think about like what I wanted and how I was feeling, and like really starting to process like the last couple of years of my life, kind of what had taken place. Because I was in such like defense, like survival mode, I feel like before that. And I thought it was just like stress from the wedding, and stress from my mom passing away, and stress from like the world changing, from like being in like the world is like completely different than how it was like prior to COVID. Like my work life completely changed. Like I wasn't freelancing as much because, you know, the world had kind of changed. So I think I was just trying to like pinpoint my feelings to those things instead of really like taking the time to like really digest why I'm feeling that way. So then when I came home, my dad took me to the police station. He made me file a restraining order against him.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's really quick.
Yeah, they like took pictures of me, because I mean I had like noticeable like when we were at the resort, like in the pool, like people had come up, like a guy came up to me and was like, who's grabbing you like that? Like it was very clear, like I had like handprint art marks on me. So they took photos of me. And then like I filed for like my dad's like, no bullshit. My dad's like, this is like, you've given him enough chances. Like we're not doing this anymore. Like, and it was very clear from my friends and family too, like with all interventions, they were like, if you continue to have a relationship with him, we are not going to have a relationship with you anymore. Which, I mean, as horrible as it sounds, I think it was like the right move for them.
Yeah.
And I think it was what I needed to hear in order to kind of get out of like this fog, like spell that I was under, to be able to like leave him, you know?
Yeah, because in their minds, they're like, this isn't just a substance abuse problem anymore. This is now a domestic violence issue. And we just can't sit back and watch this continue and you actually be married to this person.
Exactly.
Ultimately, Rachel, like your parents telling you that they didn't support your wedding was part of what lifted your fog too.
Sometimes you do need, you know, your best people to be the bad guys.
Right. And I think too, like once you're out of it, like I'm sure you felt the same way. Like you're like, how was I so stupid? Like, how did I not see this before? But I think it's like you meet someone where you have like similar, like you trauma bond with someone and you develop this bond with someone that's like so hard to break. And I mean, I hate to say it, but like he's still been like, I haven't been in love with anyone since him, you know? I definitely still like believe in love and hope to like meet someone, but like he's still been like the love of my life up until this point. But I definitely try not to find someone who's like, I try now to not focus so much on like the highs, like when I'm like dating people, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think that's like something that could easily be perceived as love when someone gives you like those really big highs, and then you have, it creates like, you know, I've done a lot of therapy, obviously, you know?
Oh, good.
So it's like.
Were you in therapy at all during that relationship, or was it only after it ended?
So I was in therapy from when I was like 7 to 16.
Okay.
And then I would go, like I had the same therapist for a long time. And then after I got separated from him, I went back to therapy because my dad was like, and we need to go to therapy. We're going to go back to see my therapist. She eventually retired, but so I need to find a new therapist because I feel like all the young therapists, I've been in therapy a long time. I out therapist the therapist, you know? I'm like, I'm tricking you. Like I need a more skilled person.
Totally. You like know the things to say, or you know exactly what they're going to say to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need someone who like is good at the therapy.
Right.
But he didn't even notice I was gone. Like he didn't even
say, with the restraining order, was he like calling you?
So I mean, he didn't even call. So like, first of all, 8 suitcases. He didn't even notice. Like my brother-in-law said we were in the room, and he was just on the bed, like texting, like, where is everyone? And my brother-in-law was like, is he not going to notice that all the suitcases are gone or the closet's empty? Like he was just so checked out. Like he didn't even notice I was gone. I didn't speak to him till 2 days after I had gotten home.
Oh, wow.
He probably would have gone to the honeymoon without me if I hadn't had canceled the reservation, and I still was charged like half of it. But I mean,
if he could have figured out how to like get on the plane or.
Well, the ironic part is, which I do kind of, this does kind of bring me joy, is he went to New York and it was winter and he only had his Caribbean clothes. So when he got to JFK Airport, he was in flip-flops and swim trunks. He didn't have any like winter clothes. In December. And my dad said that if he was to ever come, he was going to kick his ass. So he wasn't coming back anytime soon. So so I changed the locks at the house, but I still didn't go to my house for like 2 months till after. Because my dad didn't want me to like stay there. Even though the restraining order was in place, he was like very like high alert with like making sure I don't speak to him.
Totally.
And I didn't. Like I was very like at that point, like once I had come back, I was like so like humiliated too that I had put everyone through this. Like everyone was still there for like 3 days. Like I left, but there was still like
people were still there, just like hanging out and partying,
enjoying their vacation.
Well, I mean,
my groom included. He was still staying there, having a good time. And it's like a pretty big resort, but it's not that big where you know you go to a restaurant and like I heard like he was getting sat down like next to them. So it was just like crazy, you know? I mean, luckily he knew like not to like approach people at that point.
Once he found out that you were gone, he was like, okay, I'm still at the resort, but I'm going to not bother her guests. Yeah. Cause I think they were like strategizing, like, what are we going to do with him? Like, what are we going to do with this grown man? Yeah. And then I apparently he came back, he went to
rehab, and like now he's not drinking, and like I wish him the best. And I have like no animosity towards him, but I just think it was just, I mean, as much as I wish I wouldn't have spent all this money at the wedding, like if we would have had like a normal wedding where we weren't at a destination, I wouldn't have had that intervention with all of my friends, and I would have probably still been in the relationship.
Yeah.
So I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And all my friends always joke, like, it was the best party until, like, it wasn't the best party. Like, we had a great time. We just didn't have a great time with him. And we were trying to avoid him.
At least they still had a great time.
Yeah. So, but yeah. I mean,
and then if you didn't have that, like, altercation that even, like, led to the bruises, like, who knows if the intervention would have happened, or, like... Yeah, having everybody all in one place and really having your relationship on display for people, like that probably is, like you said, like what it took.
I think like
to get them to be like, you need to leave.
Like everything like just lined up, like even though the universe I feel was trying to send me signs with like the chick tooth, like my friend getting me those bottles of wine for the things like he drank. And it's just like, I just feel like everything fell into place like the way it was supposed to for me to like finally like wake up and be like, I'm done with this, you know? So that's that. And so then it took a long time to get divorced. He did not want to get divorced, you know? Yeah. Even though we were only married like a month, you know, I made more money than him. I had the apartment. I didn't want to give up the apartment.
Were you in Orange County?
I'm in Orange County.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I have like a rent controlled apartment. Like I'm not fucking moving.
Yeah.
But now I have like Ring cameras and stuff everywhere. My friends always make fun of me because like I have Ring cameras. I was like, well, you've never had a restraining order against someone before. So once you do, you'll be happy they're here if they ever break in. Let me tell you. Kidding. But I think like,
did like splitting the money? Like, did he try to like...
Well, he had inherited a lot of money because his dad had passed away.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want anything from him.
Yeah.
Both of us had paid for like certain parts of the wedding. I had spent like $30,000 and he had spent like $10,000.
Oh, wow.
So when we went to court,
so sorry.
Yeah. When we went to court, like he was trying to say that I like pulled a fast one on him and that he wants the $10,000 back. And I was like, Linda, listen, you're not getting the money back.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, he wanted a bunch of stupid shit, like from the house, like his expired vitamins, Hydro Flask bottles. Like, so we moved all of his stuff into like a storage unit.
I want my expired.
I'm like, I threw them away. You haven't taken them in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, like his dumbbells. I was like, you really should have started working out before the wedding or something, you know, like.
Now you want the dumbbells.
But he was
dumbbells, you fucking dumbbell.
Yeah.
God.
But he was just trying to like hold on to something. Yeah. I rebounded with my surfing instructor. He found out as one does.
Let's go.
As one does, you know, but it was like, I was just having fun. But he found out about it.
Yeah.
I had a restraining order, but he came and like egged my car. Like,
oh my God.
And was just doing like dumb things.
That's fucking childish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It only went on for like about 6 months and then he like backed off, I think. Cause then he really got, cause I think he really started working the program and like really focusing on, even though I've never gotten an apology. And
I was literally just about to ask.
From my understanding, that's one of the steps. Haven't gotten an apology.
Making amends.
Maybe amends. Where is my amends? But no, so still haven't gotten the apology. Wow. But yeah, where was I going? But yeah, no, he's gone. I've moved on.
He's in New York.
No, he's here.
Oh, okay.
He's in California somewhere.
Okay.
So I haven't run into him. I know some of my friends have run into him. I had to give him one of the dogs. We had 2 dogs. Gave him one of the dogs. So it's like a lot of times you're like know internally that something's not right, but you don't want to be like honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I was doing that a lot. I was doing that a lot.
Do you think that like because he was so incoherent all the time, was there ever any worry of infidelity on your part?
Yeah, and honestly, I think he was such a drunk slob kebab. It wasn't even like on his mind. He would get so drunk, like it was like you couldn't even like move. So it was, I mean, he wasn't unattractive, but no, I mean, him cheating on me was the least of my problems. If he did, congratulations for you. You pulled a fast one on me there. But no, I wasn't worried about that. Usually, like, I mean, and if I was to find out about it, I wouldn't have been surprised though, because I knew he was
incoherent.
Yeah.
It seems like he probably didn't even remember what would happen.
But he didn't really have like a strong group of friends either. Like him and my sister didn't always get along super well, and my sister's husband, but I wanted my sister's husband to be in the wedding party, and he didn't want my sister's husband to be in the wedding party. And he was like just gathering a crew of misfits. Like he didn't even have like a good group of friends. Like I had like 8 bridesmaids, because those are all my friends I've known for like 20 years. And he was like picking people off the street, I feel. And I just think like a lot of things were kind of like more about him instead of like should have been more about us. Or he should have been like, oh, I understand like why he's gonna be my brother-in-law. Like I'm marrying into this family. Like too bad if I don't always get along with him or not. Like we're gonna be family now, you know? So there are things like that where I'm kind of like, it's not necessarily always about you, you know?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to put his cousins in like my wedding. So that way like they were involved in stuff. So it was kind of sometimes a very one-sided relationship, I felt.
If the right person, like if and when the right person does come along, would you get married again?
I mean, I definitely love the ring portion of the whole operation.
That's such an honest take. I love it.
I feel like it's like a stamp telling the world like you're mine. So I feel like I would like to be like at least engaged. But yeah, I think I'd want to get married again. I always thought like I'd have kids. Like I'm 36 now, so I'm like might not be having kids, which
It can still happen. One of my good friends, 39, and just had her first.
Yeah. Well, she didn't even get engaged until like what, a year ago?
A year ago.
See? Yeah. So you never know.
It totally can happen.
Yeah. So I think like too, that was like part
Kourtney
of the
Kardashian's like 45.
I know. I'll take Travis Barker too if they don't work out. You know?
Like modern medicine's further along. I don't know. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I always like the idea of like a family, but now I think like it was so hard for me to leave because I thought like I couldn't start my life over. But after being through that and like realizing like I can start my life over, like I literally have a totally different perspective on life after going through that. Yeah. Like I literally feel like anything can happen and it's not, I could start over, like, you know, like I don't know. I'm sure you ladies have been through that, something similar. So you know that feeling.
Exact same way.
Yeah. Totally. And it's almost like empowering. I feel like when you're in it, you're like, this is awful. Like my world's ending. Like, what am I going to do? And it's really tough. And I think like the first 6 months, I wasn't really like processing it. Yeah. And then I think I really had to like be alone and like process how I'm feeling and like understand like it's not your fault, but also take accountability for, you know, it's relationships are two-sided. They're not one-sided. You know, I wasn't the best supporter of someone who has an addiction problem. I probably could have been more supportive and been like more stern, or, you know, maybe not have had a wedding at an all-inclusive resort, or maybe taken other steps. But like at the end of the day, I just don't think he was supposed to be my person. But I think we were supposed to have like this story together, because I think it hopefully, I hope like he's in a better place now too, you know?
We've had so many women come on this podcast when they talk about why they stayed as long as they did in situations that weren't the best. And because part of it is like, oh, it's scary to start over and to think of like, I have been with this person for 7 years, 10 years, however long. And the idea of, I'm so wrapped up with them. We've trauma bonded. Some of our past guests have had kids. Like it's really hard, but every single person who's like sat in that chair, it's like, it's so much better.
It's so much better.
And I think it was Blake, our last guest, who even said like statistically too, like women and men, when they break up, like women are much more likely to actually take off and be like way in better shape versus like men who maybe were so dependent.
That's why I think men replace women so much faster. Yeah. Because we do for them and they take from us. I hate to say it.
In a toxic relationship like that, for sure. And then we're like finally free, but then like mourn it for a minute. And then like 6 months later, it's like, we've never been hotter. We've never been happier. We are like,
I love living alone too. Like,
yeah,
it's so great. Like, I didn't like it at first so much, you know, but now I like, cause I had like roommates and then I was with him. And now I like love being alone. Like I travel all the time alone for work. Like I go do things all the time by myself. And I think like too, it's really given me like I really like myself, like as gay as that sounds or cliche as that sounds, like, you know, like I think like, I mean, I'm not like perfect or something, but like, I think once you're alone with yourself and you learn to be comfortable with yourself and you can go eat dinner by yourself, or if you want to do something, like I went to Norway by myself and I went around, my friend got married there, but like there was a lot of times where I was like stayed at my own place for 3 or 4 days, you know, or I went to Greece with like one friend and then met up with my sister and was alone for a lot of it. Like, so I think like just being alone and like really, you know, getting to do what you want to do is like so nice and empowering, you know?
Yes, totally. And then when you are able and you feel like you're ready to date again, you choose from a place of like power and confidence. Yeah. Like, I need somebody because I don't want to be alone. Yeah. It's completely different. So
and I think like the person I am now is like so different from the person that I was like when I met him. And yeah, so I just feel like it's good. I think like you gotta, sometimes like you make bad decisions. Like I always say, like everyone always thinks like the good things are what make you who you are. But I think like the bad things and like the obstacles that you overcome are really like who make you who you are. Totally. More so than, you know, the good things or the opportunities that you have. Like when you're dealt like a not so great hand on something and you overcome it, I think that gives you like a lot more character. You know?
Absolutely.
And comedy.
And comedy. And lots of comedy.
Do you use that story like in your stand-up at all?
Yes, I have certain bits about, it's not, like I've only done like 10, 15 minute sets right now. So that hopefully as I get better is something I could make into like a longer piece, but I am like writing a screenplay about it. Nice. So I like to write a lot. That's like my favorite thing outside of comedy. So I've written like 2.5 scripts. So I wrote one full script and then this I'm like working on. And then there was a time me and my sister got arrested in Las Vegas when we were in our 20s, which is really a funny story. My dad didn't find it funny back then, but now we could laugh about it. Yeah. So I just like to write like from that perspective too.
That's really cool. That. How has dating been? If you are dating?
Well, I've been dating, but it's not, I think too, like I'm very drawn to like charismatic people. Yeah. And I think I need to just find like a boring guy. I don't need to date another comedian or clown. Yeah. I've learned, like maybe like a guy that's like in finance that could help me with math or something. But I don't know. Like I feel like I go places all the time by myself, but no one ever approaches me when I'm out. And so it's like you have to go on the apps, and then it's like I hate the apps. It's just exhausting. But I've dated like a couple people, but nothing like serious. You know, I think like when you meet someone and it's just like easy, then I'll know. But until then, I'm just kind of like doing my own thing and like I'm not like actively like out there every night trying to meet someone. I'm just kind of doing my thing, you know?
Yeah. It's good. You're putting yourself out there and like making yourself available in places where you might meet somebody, but you're like, I'm good if I don't.
Yeah. Like you would think with comedy, it's like a male dominated thing, but no, none of them. They're all substantially, a lot of them are younger than me. And, you know, comedy is interesting, you know? I'm one of the only ones with like health insurance. So, you know.
They're maybe not like the best like suitors for potential future husbands.
Yeah. So, you know, I think there can only be one person with mental illness in a relationship at a time. And that seat's filled by me. So I need someone else.
You need Chanele, her man in finance.
The man in finance who, because you have so much personality and spark. I feel like you could fit well with someone who just like lets you shine.
Yeah. I like
does your taxes.
Yeah, does my taxes. I always think like I want someone who's like loud, and then I'm like, oh, we're never gonna get invited anywhere because we're both like competing over each other. So
yeah, it is funny how sometimes we're initially drawn to someone just like us.
Yeah.
But then like when you look at like long term or like what you really need in a partnership, like sometimes you need someone to balance you out a little bit.
Right.
But
and then I was hopefully trying to like meet like a really rich guy, but then like I dated a really rich guy, and really rich guys don't really want you to be like ambitious either. Like I got broken up with my rich guy for a hooker because he said I worked too much. So he went back to his hooker girlfriend. She had a lot of free time. I was like, okay, well, I'm sure you two will figure it out.
Totally.
I saw him on the apps like a couple months ago. I was oh, surprise, surprise. The Russian hooker didn't pan out.
Some of the more like, I don't know, wealthy people I have gone on dates with or even just like dated, their personalities never really do it for me either. I don't know what it is about like.
I'm just not the gold digger type. Like I wish I could be.
Same.
But I think it's like there's something in you that like as a woman, it's either like you can do it. Like I have to want to sleep with a guy in order to have sex with him. So it's a real, it really gets in the way of the gold digging aspects of things. You know?
Gosh darn it. If you could just turn that off.
Right? If I was only blind.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, I feel like men, I wish they would approach a little bit more.
Yeah, they don't.
I don't know what it is. Maybe because of the apps or maybe like the culture these days, but I don't really feel like I have that many people just like come up to me either. I mean, I don't go up to them, but
I would venture to say you're intimidating.
I would like to think so. I hope so. I hope that's the reason. But no, I'm like by myself, I don't get approached, but
being by yourself, like at a bar or whatever, and like I could just see you exuding like such confidence and like I don't give a fuck that I'm here by myself, and that can be intimidating to little bitch boys.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's not a bad thing at all. Okay. You're weeding out the people that you wouldn't want to approach you anyway.
Yeah.
So take it as a compliment, honestly, even though it's annoying. But like the right guy for you would approach you.
Yeah, so. I'm just like, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason.
Totally.
And that like, I think like, you know, a lot of times that you're given like, you could go this way, you could go that way. And if wherever you're meant to be, you're going to end up there anyway. So I just feel like, you know, when I first got divorced, I was like, I'm going to meet someone right away. Yeah. And I'm going to get married and I'm going to have kids.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got over that. Like now I'm just kind of like, fuck it. Like if I'm going to have like, to me too, like I don't want to just have a kid. Like I want to have a family. And I think that there's a difference. And since my stepmom was like really like my mom, even though I don't date guys with kids, even though maybe I should, I don't think like they need to have to be my kids for me to like have kids. I don't think I'm ready to date someone with kids yet now, but maybe, you know, in a couple years when I'm like, you know,
totally.
I'm kind of like reliving like my 20s, having a good time. And, you know, we've
been there. Still kind of there for sure.
It's fun. It's like I have money now. I could do things. I could go on vacation, you know.
Oh, it's the best.
It's the best, you know. So I want someone that's like a step up. Totally. I want someone that knows more than I do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Manifesting that.
Yeah.
So. We kind of like to just wrap it up by like asking you, what would you say to somebody who's in a similar situation that you were in like a relationship that's really toxic or substance abuse, domestic violence, things like that? Like, what would you say to women right now listening to this?
I would say leave. Like you can leave, like make a plan. You know, like I have had friends who have had like similar instances, but maybe they have like kids and stuff like that. So like make a plan. I think like as a woman, like sometimes it's hard too because you might not work and you might be the one that gets to stay home, which I think is such a privilege. And I think that's not a bad thing. But I think like you still just need to like protect yourself and like have a plan in some form or another. And then know that like if you do leave, like the world does not end. Like you might feel like the world is ending, but the world will not end. And if you're with someone with substance abuse, if you can't support them and like make sure that they can commit to their recovery. Like if you're not married, I don't think you should be with someone who's starting to go through recovery unless you are like married and have kids. I think it's very hard to combat that kind of relationship. I think like once someone's been sober for a while, I think that's a different story. Like I would definitely date someone who's recovered now, but I wouldn't date someone who is like new to recovery, if that makes sense. Totally. I think that if you're new to recovery and you're not married or have kids with someone, I think that they really need to like do the work on their own and really like be by themselves in order to like process it as well. Because otherwise you're probably just trauma bonding like me and my ex were, you know?
Totally. No, it's great advice. What advice would you have someone for like a woman or a man who might be listening who just ended a really long-term relationship and they're on their own for the very first time in like years?
Get a hobby, find something that you like to do, I would say. And then, I mean, I just like enjoy being alone, like find out things and like, just, I think like, I know it sounds so cliche, but just really like enjoy being alone and make your space, like your space, you know, like really
get a pink couch.
I have like wallpaper that's like not Hawaiian, palm leaves, and like my hallway's all pink. And like, you know, I just was like, this might be the only time I like live alone and I could like decorate and do whatever I want, even though women are usually going to steer the boat on decorating. But you know, I was just like, I'm just gonna make it like really girly and do what I want. And I think like that's really nice, especially like as a woman, when now in the time that we live in, that we can do those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And be a slut.
Seriously.
Go get some new dick.
Amen. It's healing.
You know?
It's healing.
You know? It is. The right ones are.
Also, you learn a lot more about yourself and what you want. And,
you know?
Yeah.
They're not all made equal. You know?
May as well have some fun.
Right? Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Do you have anything else that you would like to say or share?
No, I mean, I had a really good time with you ladies. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to plug your like socials at all? Or?
Oh, yeah. I guess I have an Instagram. It's Cha-Cha Cray. Well, everyone calls me Cha-Cha, so you could call me Cha-Cha. And then a lot of times I post like shows and different things like that I'm doing. I'm not super social media savvy, but you could follow me at Cha-Cha Cray.
Awesome.
Love it. Thank you so much for coming on. This was such a great episode and really insightful, I think, on some topics that we haven't touched on yet.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the.traumedy.show and to rate, review, and subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts. That's it.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.